Today on Sportsweek, how the Euros have boosted women's football in the region. The Bison face their toughest test yet against top of the table Leeds. And back on track, Eastleigh's go-karting track has been given a multi-million pound makeover. Hello and welcome to Sports Week. I'm Harry Jones. First, a busy weekend of sport culminated last night with the annual Ballon d'Or ceremony, this year in Paris. Understandably, the French were delighted to hear that fellow countryman Karim Benzema had won the prestigious World's Best Player award. Our European correspondent Jack Chilton is in France and has been speaking to some locals about the success of Real Madrid's forward.
So I think is the right choice because I think Benzema did a really nice competition all the year. He did a lot of goals, a lot of assistance. He's a really complete player.
I think he deserves his Ballon d'Or because it's a really good striker and he scored very important goals against Chelsea, against Manchester City last season. So yeah, for me, he deserves the Ballon d'Or.
I really like Benzema. I think he deserves it awards. I hope he will win again next year.
Back to more local football now, as the FA Cup first round draw took place yesterday and 3 of our local clubs have been drawn away from home. National League side Eastleigh will travel to Boreham Wood. Farnborough from the National League South will go to Sutton United and League One Portsmouth are off to Hereford. Matches will be played on the weekend of November the 5th. One local side who aren't involved in the draw are Aldershot Town, who are surprisingly knocked out of the Cup by lower league Chelmsford City. That led to the dismissal of manager Mark Mosley. So what's next for the Shots? Let's get the latest from our Aldershot reporter Torin Budd, who's at the ground for us now.
I'm here outside the Ebb Stadium, home of Aldershot Town Football Club, just to give you an update on all things Aldershot Town and everything from the weekend and now into this week. Saturday afternoon was the FA Cup 4th qualifying round, which saw Aldershot Town travel away to Chelmsford City in a fixture the underdogs came out on top, Chelmsford City winning 2-0, sealing their place in the next round of the FA Cup and sealing the fate of Aldershot Town manager Mark Mosley. The club released a statement later that same evening saying Aldershot Town Football Club can confirm that first team manager Mark Mosley and assistant manager Tom Perdomo have been relieved of their duties with immediate effect. I have reached out to the club for further comment, however due to the sensitivity of the issues they weren't able to provide me with any other comments on the statement. Terry Brown will be the club's temporary manager, taking over in a second spell after leading the club from 2002 to 2007, as well as taking AFC Wimbledon into the Football League for the first time in their club's history. So an impressive managerial background. Despite this change, there is still enormous pressure on club chairman Shahid Azim, as the club sit 22nd out of 24 in the Vanarama National League, with only 3 wins from 13 games so far this season, as well as 1 win in their last 5 league games. The club have also stated that applications for the vacant first-team manager position close on Friday the 21st of October, only 6 days after Mosley's dismissal, really showing the urgency this club has to push forward in this season, and can they turn it around in time to get out of the relegation zone and stay in the National League for another season. It remains to be seen, but it'll be a thrilling battle either way. Definitely one to watch over the coming weeks as a new manager takes charge and to see if their reign can be any more successful than the last one. Back to you in the studio.
Thanks for that, Torin. A side with similarly poor recent form is Winchester City, who sit 17th in the league. They faced a tough test away to Gate Town this evening, and Jude Richards managed to catch up with player Callum Chugg earlier today about tonight's game.
It's a massive game, to be honest. I know Yates are sort of down there. So it's a 6-pointer really. We've been on a good run of form, and I know they've been struggling recently as well. But it's always a tough place to go. It's a bit of a sort of a hole. With obviously their fan base is quite rowdy and stuff like that. So it's a difficult place to go and get the points. But when you do, it's very rewarding. So yeah, if you could pick whether getting 3 points tonight or getting 3 points against one of the top teams, obviously you'd always choose a game like today.
Aside from this evening's game, Winchester were also in action at the weekend. They played a Chesham side currently 3rd in the division and Tyler Reynolds was there for us.
Prior to the game, Winchester and Chesham had only ever met twice in the league before, with both ending in victories for the home side at the time. Chesham looked to change that, however, as they took the lead after 3 minutes, with Carl Oluyide netting his third goal of the season. It was a goal that meant the Citizens had conceded first in 9 out of the 10 league games they've played so far. City goalkeeper Charlie Philpott had to be in fine form to make sure the away side didn't double their lead midway through the first half, and his efforts were rewarded in the 35th minute by Simba Malambo, whose deflected cross sent the sides into the break level. In an evenly contested second half with very few clear-cut chances, the best opportunity to separate the sides fell to Oluyide in added time, who was denied his second of the day by the crossbar. The game then ended in a draw, which was the 4th time Winchester City had drawn 1 all this season.
When you fall behind early in the game, sometimes you sort of wonder, looking at their position in the league, you think, okay, it's backs against the wall job. So the equaliser in the first half was good. And then second half we created some chances of our own, and I think, yeah, like you say, very little. You wouldn't have been able to tell on the performance who was where in the league table.
The whole team is bought into the fact that we're not just here to make up the numbers, here to push our way up the league and compete with teams like Chesham, even though they are third, much bigger budget. Really, realistically, we'll want to be around the playoffs, and we can get right in amongst them, like we've shown against Poole last week and Hartley Whitney, who are a bit more around us. On Tuesday night, that we're more than a match for pretty much any team in the league.
After today's 1-1 draw, Winchester remains 17th in the league after 10 games played. They extend their unbeaten streak to 3, whilst Chesham extend their unbeaten streak to 4, heading into the next game week. Tyler Reynolds, Winchester News Online.
Football finally came home this summer, and the likes of Leah Williamson, Jill Scott and Beth Mead made themselves into national treasures. I went down to Basingstoke to see if England's heroics had helped participation rates and support of women's football lower down the pyramid. Serena Wiegmann's Lionesses were a roaring success this summer as they won their first ever major trophy, and as a result there are more eyes on women's football than ever before. 2 in 5 volunteers and spectators were inspired to get involved in more physical activity, while Aston Villa's Women's Super League side reported a 108% increase in ticket sales after the competition. Arsenal's WSL side were another that benefited as they increased and sold out their season ticket allocation. And it's not just at the top level that the fresh exposure of women's football has had a positive effect, as Basingstoke Town's women's team have continued to grow after they completed a League and Cup double in 21-22.
Our season ticket holders get in for free to watch the ladies, and they've definitely made it a bit more of a spectacle, and watching it as sort of like a double header along with the men's first team. So yeah, hopefully the progression's there. It's about bringing it all in and hopefully starting up some more girls teams in the future as well.
The Hampshire Division 2 side share the Winklebury with the men's teams for training and match days, and it appears that the success of the Euros this summer has already helped them both on and off the pitch.
We've been going to games and stuff together as well, which I think has been a nice social element. I think it's definitely picked up with kind of support, and also more fans come in, people feeling a bit more of a buzz around it. I do hope it keeps the momentum up, because it's such a good game and I think everyone needs to come and enjoy it.
We were struggling to get about 10 players or so to train last season. We had 20 on Thursday. We got a much bigger squad this year, and I still keep getting messages about players. Potentially next season there's already talk about setting up a reserve side for us. We're going through the process setting up the Wildcats Academy, which is something that's I believe it's from 8 to 12-year-olds, girls only, and a couple of our players are going to coach that. So no, it's definitely getting more popular now after the Euros.
Football now, and on to more frosty affairs in ice hockey. The Basingstoke Bison hadn't played the top teams in the league so far this season. That was until last weekend. Kurt Hill was watching.
The Basingstoke Bison were back in action this weekend, and they faced a tough challenge against high-flying, top-of-the-table Leeds Knights. The first period was a competitive and high-tension affair. They came close, but no one was able to open the scoring. The deadlock didn't last long into the second period, though. Hayward's missed shot rebounded for Baldwin to tap in for the Leeds Knights. And the league leaders made it clear they weren't here to play nicely. The Knights went into battle against the Bison with a big altercation between Balaz and Shudra. Which resulted in a penalty for the Knights player. The Bison kept on top of their game to try and break down this top defence. And they got a well-deserved equaliser through Zach Milton. Sending the home crowd into life. And the Bison started stampeding the Leeds defence. It wasn't meant to be though for the Bison. Cooper's shot goes through everyone and in. The Bison came so close to equalising with 2 goalmouth scrambles. But the Bison bringing everyone up backfired as Barnes secured the Knights' victory with an empty net.
I thought we played really well the whole game. Like full 60-minute performance from us. I can't really fault any. Like it just didn't go our way. They got the lucky bounce on the first goal. We got one back, and then it just happens that way sometimes. Like we put in a full 60 minutes, and we just didn't get rewarded for it.
Having only recently formed the netball team, the Winchester Thirds were in action against the Solent Seconds, a side with considerably greater pedigree. Lily Gage was watching their first game of the season.
Winchester Thirds played their debut match against Solent Seconds at home in Ballon. The home team started strong by taking the lead through the first 3 quarters of play, going into the last quarter 1 point up. But the Solent team fought back in the final quarter to snatch the win from the home side, scoring 8 goals against the deflated Winchester team. Solent 24, Winchester 19.
I think the match went well. I think we played well. We did well. We just need to work on doing it consistently. But I think it's really good right now, especially as a new team, sort of how we're doing together.
We lost, but we were winning in all the other quarters. We just lost in the last one, but we didn't lose by very much. So I think we played pretty well.
Lily Gage, Winchester News Online.
And finally, get your overalls on as Team Sport Go-Karting in Eastleigh has been given the green light to reopen its doors after a multi-million-pound renovation. Amelia Hopkinson went to see whether all the hard work has led to a better experience for the drivers on the track.
After being closed for 3 months, Team Sport Go-Karting in Eastleigh has reopened its doors to karters. During its closure, it has been through a major refurbishment and now has a brand new track for karters to enjoy.
The brand new redesigned racetrack has 500 metres of ups and downs and twists and turns. It has 9 corners over 2 levels and includes hairpin bends, double apex corners and lengthy straights so karters can really put their foot down. Obviously I'm not going out on the track, otherwise I would be wearing a Team Sport race suit.
It's really good fun. There's loads of opportunities around the track to sort of go flat out, or you can slow down, and I think the fastest driver won't just be the fastest at this track. You've got to be technical as well and sort of wait for your time. Boost button's brilliant. It's a little blue boost button that you hit that, and that just gives you a little bit of a nudge over your opponent. That's cool. Oh, it's brilliant. It's really good. Yeah, first time driving it and I love it.
As well as a new track, there are also new eco-electric karts which can reach speeds of up to 40 miles an hour and have an average lap time of 26 seconds. These new electric karts are much safer than the old gas go-karts.
It's safer for customers, it's safer for our staff to be in a cleaner environment, and the karts are just incredible. The performance of the karts, it gives us loads more options in terms of gamification and other things that we can do that are far more exciting than just driving around the kart circuit.
Customers are now able to enjoy a drink at the new bar, play some arcade games, have a go at the car simulation, or even have a round of mini-golf. Amelia Hopkinson, Winchester News Online.
And that's it from me and the rest of the sports team. Thanks very much for watching. See you again soon. Bye-bye.